Welcome to this video. My name is Dirk, one of the software engineers at Celro. Fundamental in product handling is the correct hardware, and as Bram explained, we do have smart and nice hardware solutions. Together with my team, we've developed software to control the hardware in such a way it does exactly what is required to precisely load your product. Our Celro Cell Control is not designed with our product central, but with your process central. We have tried to see our system as you would see it and ask the questions that are relevant to your process. Our software should feel like a colleague who only needs half a word. Just like Bram, I also want to approach the software around product handling from the three angles where your product is central. We demonstrate this on an Elevate with Celro Cell Control. This software is used on our Elevate, Modularate and Ultimate. A wizard asks you step by step what you want to produce and how. You don't need to think about the answers to most questions. They are simply already known in your current process, or they are easy to get. From that moment on, the software informs you and takes the work off your hands. Of course, I can tell you that everything works so well, but do you know what our customers are saying? I spoke to one last month who told me, even if I only have 5 products with a duration of 10 minutes, I throw them on the Elevate, because it just takes care of me. Even if I haven't run the product on the Elevate before, oh yeah, I'll have a look at the first product, but after that, I walk away. Such reaction makes me happy, because it confirms us that the software is clear, helpful, and trusted by our users. We are now going to program the product that Bram has shown. I limit this demo to entering raw material and making a recipe. Specifying machine clamps, clamping jaws, gripper fingers, and inlays can of course also be done very easily. But clamps, fingers and inlays are tools that are set once in the system and then called from the library. You certainly don't do that configuration every day. So this demo uses that library. Alright, we are going to create a new recipe. Before we create a new recipe, we will specify the raw material. Click Config in the main menu. Here you can find all configurations around the production parts. In the configuration menu, you can select Material above. Here all known raw materials are shown in a table view. You can filter and sort to quickly find your desired dendri. And now we are going to create a new. We enter a name for the material and, optional, a description. And you can also easily search on these fields later. Many customers enter a drawing number of the raw material here. In the next screen, the dimensions of the product are entered. Simply copy these measurements from the product drawing. So, we save the data and now raw material is known in the system. One raw material can of course be used to produce a range of end products. We are now going to use this raw material in a new recipe. The recipe is also a wizard. First we give the recipe a name that will help you to identify it later on and, optional, a description. We also set here that our products must be produced in 2 processing steps. And there pops up an extra question right now as I turned on the second operation. And what could that mean? I can click on the information symbol to get more information about the step or function that is on the screen. You will everywhere see these eye symbols. We select the raw material to be used in this recipe. We search or immediately select the material we need and confirm the choice. The dimension after the first and after the second operations. For the second operation I take over the values and only the Z dimension changes now. I can click on Next because everything has been entered correctly. By the way, do you see that bar at the top has color indicators? This will show you how far we are in the wizard, and if you enter something incorrectly, the step will turn red. Helpful for finding a configuration error. Let us select center for both operations. This is to achieve the required placement accuracy, as Bram explained in the previous video. And I select the double 2-point gripper. The software asks which finger to use on gripper side 1. Gripper side 1 is used to place raw material as well as the half-finished product in the machine. Gripper side 2 is used to take the products out of the machine, both half-finished and finished parts. Depending on the width of the product, I have to select a gripper finger for both gripper sides. We assume that we just pick up the product in the middle, the X and Y leave we to 0. At the picking depth, we set how far the gripping bit should drop over the product. The software gives a warning if incorrect values are entered. And you can also set the picking height at the turn station, but this can be default as well. I skipped quite a few options. We hope to go into more detail about that in future webinars. Storage. Here we indicate how the raw material will be stored in the system. In the case of an Elevate, this will be always in trays containing an inlay grid. In this step, it's enough to choose the right inlay, and I can say many customers only have one inlay. And you're done. If the pockets are large enough, more products can be placed in one pocket. Here we indicate whether loading in this way is allowed for this recipe. Then we come to machine selection. Because we have 2 machines in this cell, we can choose in which machine we produce. And because we also have 2 processing steps, we can even indicate that per processing step. And in this example, we are going to perform both machining steps in machine 1. This machine has one table with one clamping location on it. We select the same machine for the second operation. And each processing step has its own program in your machine. For OP10 and OP20, we specify the program number here. For some machines, it's also possible to specify program names. Alright, which clamp or fixture should be used for the first operation? We select it from the library. We also select the clamping jaws. Now, placement parameters come into play. How should the product be clamped in the clamping jaw? In this example, in the middle of the clamp, X and Y offset remains 0, but we set the clamp depth to 5 mm. And on the right, the sizes in the image change with the values. Second machining step takes place in the same clamp. So I now have only to set the place positions, and this is 3 mm clamping depth. And that was the recipe. The automation currently knows everything that is required to process a product. I just want to say something about placement accuracy. That is essential when it comes to product handling. It starts with good hardware, as Bram explained in the audio video, but the software is supportive to this. If I go to the machine fixture step once more time, you will see the pressure button. Here is it possible to push a product in a machine clamp. And this can be done in 1, 2 or 3 axes, simultaneously or sequentially. Compare this with a plastic hammer that is now used to push material into a direction. What haven't we covered yet? Quite a lot. For example, how does a job manager take care of your production? Or how can fixture exchange contribute to a greater autonomy of your production? Or how do I keep insight and overview if I'm going to outsource more and more production to the automation? These are no longer questions for us. We do have the answers, but for now we want to leave it for other sessions. Would you like to go into more depth? Discuss your products? Experience the software yourself? Press the buttons yourself? Contact us. We and our international dealers are really happy to make time for you.